This is the Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Alex R. White, PLLC, at SueDistractedDriver.com. Each week, your host, Vanessa Hankins, and her guests share memories and stories about the past, the present, and the future of the Tri-State area. That's West Virginia, Kentucky, and the Ohio areas. If you used to live here, or you currently live here, you're going to catch yourself saying out loud, "Wow, I remember that." Now, here's Vanessa.
Hey guys, it's Vanessa, and we're here with Jason. What's up, Jason?
How is everybody today?
Good. Welcome to the Tri-State Time Machine, and we have a really awesome guest here today, someone that Westmoreland is very thankful for.
That's right. So today we have Parlor, who is the daughter and, I guess, what would you say? You're a co-owner? You help run things? What would you say?
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades.
Master of none.
Yeah, it's Sue's Junk, which we're very glad to have. So we're glad you're with us today. And I guess we'll just kind of jump right into things. Vanessa, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. For listeners, we, of course, in Westmoreland, we know what Sue's Junk is. I'm a long-time shopper from when she was over in Chesapeake at the flea market. So I was very excited for her to start her own thing, you know, and go out on a limb and risk it all. I feel like that's what she did with that building, because it was kind of a train wreck.
It was.
But for listeners that have never stopped by or been in the store or know what Sue's Junk is, could you describe a little bit about what the store is?
Sure. So basically, it is a giant store. It used to be a grocery store, most of you know. It is filled with vendors. We've got over 100 and about 175 booths.
Oh, wow. Now, is that more than the Peddler Mall?
I don't know.
Curiosity?
I don't know.
I feel like you guys have more space.
I don't know. I've never been in there. I've never been in.
Big ha-ha to you.
No, I never have. But we've got all the booths in there. So each person has their own booth. They bring their items, they tag their items, and then you can come up front, like you shop the whole store, and then we have a register at the front that you check out at. So we also have shelves, and each vendor is on a shelf, and then we have some OG consigners, is what I like to say, because we're not really taking any more because we're maxed out. Oh my gosh, we are.
Every square inch of that place it's got something in it.
Yeah. So between consigners and vendors and people with booths and shelves, we have right at 400 vendors in the store.
Awesome.
So there is such.
That's fantastic.
But there is such a variety in there.
There really is.
Well, then you have the outdoor as well at times.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother setup.
Have you ever been there on Wednesday?
Oh yeah,
it's
wild.
Free setup
it's free.
Out there?
Yeah, free setup on Wednesdays.
Oh my God, it's there.
I came into work at like 5:30 in the morning, and there's people already out there in their cars. Wait, because they want that
flags
they
flying,
want that
everything.
Spot. They want that good spot.
Right. Yeah. So Wednesdays it's free. We do the parking lot sales then, and then we do like spots. $10 Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Nice.
Usually Saturdays are really packed, and Wednesdays, those are the two like hot days to get there and set up, or to get there and shop.
Right.
But the parking lot's lined up, so there's always something different because those people, it's always somebody new coming. Right. Sometimes there's produce. Sometimes you know, we've got our tool guy who usually comes and he sits at the sets the end, and people stop. I mean, he is literally there when we get there, and he is there when we leave, and he's swamped all day.
I believe it.
It's good stuff.
It's really cool to see that people can thrive in that sort of like, I guess, alternative lifestyle, you know.
Right.
That's how they get by. That's their bread and butter, and I think it's so cool that they put that kind of effort. Like you said, he's there before you get there. He's there when you leave.
Right.
I think that's really cool.
Well, and a lot of people, especially in our area, that's how they grew up. You know, that's how they made money. That's how they were raised.
Absolutely.
And it's in their blood, and that's how they know, you know, that's how they know to make a living.
It is. We're a working class group from our oldest roots. That's what we've always done. Even if you got to pull on the side of the road, by God, I got some vegetables. You guys want some? Like, you know, it's just what we do.
It's Appalachia.
It is. So,
it's truly. If
you could, kind of, how did this all begin with Sue's Junk? What? Yeah, here we go.
How detailed do you want this story?
As detailed as you want.
Her whole life.
Yeah, I mean, mom was kind of born and raised in this. My grandparents junked. I mean, that's what they did. My parents divorced when I was in like second grade, and mom was on the struggle bus for a while. So, you know, she was
do what you gotta do.
Constantly at the flea market, constantly trying to flip and sell and make a little extra. And she was collecting pop cans to get our Christmas. I mean, she was been on that struggle bus. So she started the flea market. She would do Wheelersburg, Chesapeake, Brockville, wherever she could go. She would literally have honest yard sales at the house where when she would go to work, she would set out a bunch of stuff in front of her house with a coffee can that was duct taped down and said, just be honest.
Oh,
and
I
so,
love that.
yeah, so she would come home and then she'd just check the jar and see how much money was in it. And it would be crazy because people would come by and be like, days later and say, I didn't have change the other day. I wanted to stop. Here's the $3 I owed you. Or here's the,
that's
you know.
beautiful. That
So,
shows the true heart of our community.
That's an Appalachian story right there. That's how we do things. I love that.
yeah.
That's awesome.
So she was cleaning houses for a
Yeah.
living is what she was doing. So,
I did that for a while, and actually it's kind of therapeutic. Kind of therapeutic.
well, when you have to go with your mom to do it, it's
Not
not
so therapeutic.
that therapeutic.
I'm sure.
I mean, at the time, I absolutely hated every minute of it.
Yeah.
But there was a day not too long ago where I was painting in my house, and I don't remember. I was trying to work with somebody, and I just called Mom and I said, I just want to say thank you because I can do things.
Yeah.
I know how to paint a room. I know how
Right.
to do basic craftsman things, and I
Yes.
can, I can do all these things. I can clean a house. I can,
Yeah.
I can cook. I can do these things, which FYI, did not learn that from my mother. She's not a very good cook, but don't tell her I said that.
Cut that part out.
Cut that out. She's well aware. I tell everybody. She knows. But no, I just was like, thank you. I hated it. When you're a kid, and I make my kids do the same
when
thing.
You reflect as an adult.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about cleaning houses, and it's funny because there's so many mothers that I know that have done the same thing because with the hours with school, with drop off and stuff, it's one of the go-to professions that you can make work with your children's schedule.
Right.
Especially if you're doing it on your own.
Yeah.
Right, and she was taking care of my grandmother at the time, so she
for
had to
sure,
have
yeah.
something to where, she could go get grandma up and dressed and get her ready and do all that, be able to leave, and then kind of work around that schedule. So she started with that, and kind of just to wrap back around, she would have those yard sales. It was every weekend. We were constantly in a flea market doing something. So.
Yeah.
She started a booth at Chesapeake, and she started with 1, and then they did really well, and then she went to 2, and then she went to 3, and then she just kind of kept expanding in the flea market.
Yeah.
And then finally, where the old Sleep Makers was at
Yes.
that building at the end,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of came up, and so she's like, I don't know if I can do this, and
So that was her first real risk.
that was the
Okay.
yeah. So,
I didn't realize that.
And that's a
Yeah.
good spot over there. That's
Yeah.
the premier spot, really.
but where that was cut off from the rest of the flea market, she could stay open.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely.
6 days a week
Yeah.
and not just the weekends. So she really, really started to thrive over there. So
Yeah.
she was at Chesapeake for 11 years.
Wow. It doesn't seem like it was that many years, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, she was there forever, what it seemed like.
It's our go-to place. We were talking before we started recording about how Branham's family loves antiques and things like that. So it's really, when we need a piece of furniture, it was our first stop.
Right.
Usually 9 times out of 10, it was our first stop as long as she was open.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, I always feel like when you're on Pinterest and you're like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool to find a nightstand to redo, to do that, or to do that.
Yeah, it's
and
your place.
and I would go in and be like, Mom, what do you have?
Yes.
what do we got? She's like, oh, there's one here, one here, one here. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
and she knew that store like the back of her hand.
Yes.
Like
always.
you could come in, what are you looking for? And you could tell her, oh, back left corner, 3 rows back, underneath
Right.
the rocking chair, wherever, she knew.
Yes.
She knew that store.
And she was the one who put it there, fixed it up. I mean, she was constantly cleaning and fixing it.
yeah.
I mean, she's just, that was her thing,
I love it.
So then it kind of just came to a point where there was some things that happened that she was just kind of unsure of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother and I had talked to her, and we're like, we've got to move on from this. We've got to go big, go home kind of thing.
Yeah.
And with the downfall of the whole life of trading and selling and things is you don't have the 401ks and the retirements and the
That's
health
right.
insurance and the whole thing. So it was like, we've got to do something because you can't do this your whole life.
Yes.
You can't be 80
Right.
and
not have insurance or retirement.
It's got to make sense.
right.
Yeah.
We've got to do something to get you set up. If this is what you want, we've got to, we got to do this. So we started on the hunt, And we looked at several properties, and she would be like, okay, I think I could make this work. And I'm like, Mom, it's not big enough. You know, like, we could make this work, but this is going to kill you. You're going to have to do this 7 days a week. You're going to have to be doing these estates constantly. You're going to have to, you know, and when you do an estate, like, we have people that'll call and say, hey, you know, we've got this house, it was so-and-so's, you know, we want a price just to come get everything out of it. Or, like, people would do an estate sale and say, can you come get the rest of what's left, and, you know, for a certain price. And then, you know, so we'd have to, like, hire a crew, get the trucks, take everything, box everything up, get everything out, bring it back, tag everything.
Not to mention going through it all and deciding what's trash and what people will purchase.
Absolutely. I mean, it is.
When they buy those out, like, there's a location over in Proctorville. I don't know if we always call them the boys. I don't know what their actual business company is. It's right underneath the Proctorville Bridge.
It was Josh and Ronnie's.
Yeah, so one of them had passed away.
Josh.
And I didn't know which one, but we always just called them the boys. But they bring everything. They don't go through it and get rid of things. So, you know, you're going through there, you might find a used scouring pad. Or, you know, a fourth of Dawn dish detergent that's still in the bottle.
Right.
So I can only imagine.
Right. I mean,
only imagine the work.
The amount of time and the behind the scenes stuff is just crazy.
I believe it.
So we were just like, we've got to find something, because if I can find something where people can rent the space, it will help pay for the building. So, you know, we've got to not kill ourselves. So we came across the property in Westmoreland, and it was like, oh, I don't know about all this.
Yeah, it was in really bad shape for anyone that didn't get to see Food Fair, Foodland. I always get the both confused. Food Fair, correct?
Well, it had been a Foodland way back.
And Shoppers Value.
Shoppers Value was the last one. Right.
Yeah, but someone had gone in and just, like, gutted it, took the wiring out. Like, I mean, they tore that place apart.
It wasn't someone. It was.
I was going to say, we've had many talks about that.
Yeah.
There was a whole regime of homeless people that were in a encampment there.
Yeah, in the back of the store.
It was unbelievable,
Which, I mean, if they would have just, like, hung out, it'd been fine. But, like, they went through and just busted holes in the walls and spray painted everything. And they went through and took a sledgehammer and just, like, smashed the toilets and the sinks and the urinals.
Bathroom everywhere, having fires, just crazy stuff.
It was nuts, and it was just, like, for no reason.
Absolutely.
You know, it was just destructive.
Very destructive.
And then, like, when they went through and stole the wiring and stuff out of it, you know, I'm over here like, okay, well, your couple $100 in scrap just cost us 6 figures. You know what I mean? Like, it was
very true.
It was nuts. So, we didn't really get to see the inside of the building. So
it went up to auction, right?
So it went up for auction. Mom, of course, was at an estate down in Ashland with with her crew going through, and it was like the day of the auction. She was like, I don't think I can get it. And so my brother had gone down, and he's like, he called. Right. So he calls, and he's like, I went through, like, the roof looks good. You know, I think the inside, I think we can do this. I think it looks pretty good. Well, there was no electric, so it's not like you could see anything.
Right.
It just looked like a big
just
open space.
Big shell.
Right. He's like, I think it's worth it. So I go and pick Mom up, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you need to be down there. So we're driving. I'm going, not that I speed ever or anything, but I'm like going 90. Like, we're on speakerphone, and they're starting to bid. And so Mom's like, okay, here's my max. Like, you know, this is what I have in retirement. This is what I've been saving. Yeah. Here's where we're at. So we start bidding. And my brother's bidding for her.
You're right.
We've never seen the place. I've never been in it. Mom's never been in it.
Right.
And I'm driving down there on speakerphone. And I'm like, go again, Mom, go again. And like, somebody else is bidding. And I'm like, go again. And then she's like, you gonna pay for this? I'm like, I've got some money in our retirement. We'll put some money in. It's okay. Just keep going. And we just kept going and kept going. And then it just got to the point where Mom was just like, I can't. I'm sick. I can't do it anymore. I can't bid anymore. I just can't. And so we're like, we lost it.
Yeah.
So we didn't get it. We got outbid.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was like, that was the place. Like, that was like the location. Like, that was the one. So then, unbeknownst to us, the person who bought the building was a local philanthropist, had plenty of buildings and things. And so we kind of came up with, well, what if we just went to him directly and said, let's just buy it off of you.
Yeah.
And the auctioneer ended up telling us, like, you weren't going to win.
Yeah.
Like,
there was no way.
There was no winning.
Right.
Like, he would have just gone till because he wanted it.
Money. Yeah.
Right. And we definitely did not. So we went to him, and I was like, I want to buy this, and this is what we want to do. And Mom and I had went down, and he said, okay, here's what we'll offer you. And I was like, I'm not paying that. I'm like, I know what you paid for this building. I was the one bidding against you.
Right.
Like, no.
Right.
And so I kept talking him down, and Mom's over here just like, oh my gosh.
I love
like,
it.
what do we, like, okay, what do we do?
Proud mom
okay.
over there.
Yeah,
she's like, look what I raised.
Yeah, she's just like, only my child. Like, this is what she does. So finally, I'm like, okay, well, what? Okay, wait. So we set out on a price, and I'm like, okay, well, what happens if you die? And Mom's like, Parlor. What do you? And I'm like, I'm just saying.
That's a good question.
You know, like, you're agreeing to do this, and you're agreeing to finance it through your bank and your stuff. What happens if, he's like, well, my son will take care of this. It'll all be right. I'm like, okay, all right. And she's like, she tells everybody, I can't believe she asked him, what if he died? And I'm like,
and it's a good question.
it's a valid question.
Especially knowing who you're referring to. It's a very valid question.
Right. Like, what happens? So we got everything secured in the end of 2022 and going into 23. So, like, we went in, and it was, like I said, it was awful.
Yes.
And my poor mother, where they had those, like, the aisles, they call them gondolas, where they had waxed for so many years, they had that build up. And she scraped those floors and scraped those floors. And friends would come, and they would just sit for hours. Well, guess what? No heat, no air. So
there's only a limited amount of time you can be in there and handle it.
they were with flashlights in the heat, in the, I mean, like, just scraping and scraping and scraping. And so, like, we went through a lot.
Testament to your family and friends.
Oh my gosh, we had such people helping. Like, it was amazing. So, but we thought we never were going to get that thing open.
I believe it.
So I was kind of like on the back end doing more of the books and the getting everything set up for the business stuff. And mind you, I was pregnant at the time.
Oh, goodness.
So, and that's what Mom had said. She's like, can you commit to doing this? I can't do this without you. And I'm like, okay, well, I've got one kid at home. I'm pregnant. We just had moved in with my aunt who had Parkinson's to help take care of her.
Right.
And we'll run a business. Okay.
Okay.
It's totally fine. No problem. I've got it. It's fine. Everything's fine. So, I mean, we worked on that place, and we had so many people come and help. And the city was great with, I would like call and say, what do we need to do with this? And they'd come and say, okay, well, this has to be this way, or this has to be this. And I was, everybody was so afraid of, like, oh, the city's going to be so hard. Yeah.
Well, I have found, and I'm sure this is what you found as well, if you are just honest with, like, our electricians or,
yes.
They want to help you.
Absolutely.
They want you to succeed because we succeed if the business is within our city limits.
Right.
Succeed. So if you're honest with them and don't try to, like, pull one over, I feel like they are very, very helpful.
Yeah, and that's and one of the perks, not to down Huntington or anything, but one of the perks was that we were past that Wayne County line.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, we don't have to deal with any of the city stuff. We're great. So we started working. We were in there working.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, oh, no, you're in the Huntington city limits. I'm like, no, girlfriend, we're past that Wayne County line. It stops at the bridge. We're over here. And they're like, no, it runs all the way to Camden Park.
That old misconception.
Yeah, that runs to Camden Park. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So I called, and I was like, I didn't know. Are we really? And they're like, yeah, you're in our limits. And I'm like, what do we have to do? What are we going to,
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry,
Thank you for forgiveness.
Yeah. So they all came out, and they were like, here's what needs to be done. This is, they were all fantastic. And so we got everything up to compliance with them, got our ducks in a row, got opened up. And it was kind of funny because it started out, Mom wanted to call it Sue's Junk. And I was like, please don't call it Sue's Junk. please don't call it Sue's Junk. And she's like, but that's what people know me from Chesapeake, is it's Sue's Junk. And I'm like, Mom.
That would be scary to change your name. I get that.
I know, but I'm like, it's the junk. It doesn't describe what's going to be in here, and it's not. She's like, but it's, I'm like, how about, give me this. Give me the antique mall part. Like, let's kind of elevate it a little bit. Let's just not call it the junk, not a junk store.
Right.
And she's like, fine. Okay, we'll do Sue's Junk and Antique Mall. So that's kind of what we ran with. And so when we started up, Mom had the majority of the middle was all hers. She only gave up the outside edges for vendors.
Right.
So that's how we started. And, she was still doing estates and still, constantly just killing herself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, you've got these days off, but during your days off, you're going and working doing estates. And we've got, and it just makes sense. Yeah. And it was crazy. I mean, the whole thing, like when I ended up having my son, it was in December, and it was still, we still had no heat or anything. So I had him in there in a snowsuit, coming in there working, trying to do the online sales to try to make some money before we opened, because, you know what I mean? Like, just because we were just scrimping by.
And you guys are really known for those online sales. Those are a big deal.
Yeah.
They're a really big deal. Have you ever seen people, they go, it's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Every Monday. But we ended up getting open, and we had those spaces around the edges, and slowly I would be like, Mom, if we added a row here, we would make more money towards the mortgage, and and then we could pay this, and then we would have more money for this, and then you would have and then she'd be like, okay. And so then she'd give up a row.
I'm surprised she'd give it up that quickly.
It wasn't that easy. It wasn't just one conversation. Let's just be honest.
So she knows her stuff.
Yeah, she does.
Talk to her, like, she knows her stuff. She knows what she's got. She knows what it's worth. Like, we've bought a few pieces off of her, and she always just knows what's up.
Oh, yeah. So she was like, no, I'll think about it. It wasn't like of course, honey, let's do this. That was never the case.
Okay. I was a little shocked by that. I was like,
no. So I slowly kind of like merged her into, well, if we give up this row, she's like, there's not going to be any of Sue's Junk in here. It's just going to be
the antique mall.
Right. It's just going to be these vendors. So we've kind of slowly moved to just adding more and adding more and adding more. And then recently we had like the back hallway, and we added.
I noticed that last time we went in. It's like you can see the meat coolers and all that. Yeah. Which is really cool, like to be back there and be shopping and to see that.
Yeah, and we really turned those meat coolers into booths in the back. Yep. So it, like each cooler in the back has its own booth.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we've kind of expanded as much as we can.
Expansion, yeah.
So it's just been
creative use of space for sure.
A little bit at a time. And now she's like, what are we gonna do with the upstairs? I'm like, all right, Sue, slow your roll. Like, let's just stay where we're at right now. Let's just let it go. It's fine. So it's been a process, a labor of love for sure, but we've come a long way.
What a testimony, though.
Absolutely.
So cool. I love it.
Yeah, I really do too. So sounds like, because it was in your mom's life from the day she was born, it's been in your life since the day you were born. So how has Huntington's vintage and antique scene changed since your first remembrance of working in the field?
Well, let's be honest. I was never. We were never the go to an antique mall type of family. We were all the flea market family.
Sure.
We were the Thursday Wheelersburg in the mornings with flashlights and people. And we never got to really go by. We were always selling. I mean, let's be honest.
So you don't know how it's changed. I get that.
Right. I mean, like there's always been those like staples in Huntington that we know of, like Hattie and Nan's and things like that. And just because we've always heard the names, and and we always try to like refer people to, well, if you're looking for something more like that, maybe 14th Street's kind of the place to go.
Your mom actually referred me to another person. We were looking for a specific kind of chest, and she was like, oh, I have a card, hold on. Yeah. And this was when she was still in Chesapeake, so it's been that long ago. But she's like, this she'll have it. She'll have 2 or 3. You'll have options. And I'm like, beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's kind of our thing. Is like, if we can't help you, we'll try to find you somebody that can, you know? Like, why not let everybody try to benefit from something,
That's
you
really
know?
good business.
So,
Absolutely.
We try.
Yeah.
I love it.
Kind of changing course a little bit. Are there any, like, local legends, rumors, or stories behind stuff you've collected over the years? I mean, you guys have been incorporated with a lot.
Yeah, that is.
Oh my gosh. No, it's not a good question. I have to think about that.
What are you doing to me right now?
What are you doing? You're making me think of things on the spot right here. Are there any local legends?
Yeah, something that is just
like
that.
a piece that just stands out that has a story.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
There's going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
But is there one that really just stands out? Like this was so surprising and different, and
I probably would have kept it if it was.
you're like, yeah, it's at my house.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. Like, even right now, we've got, we had a vendor who brought in the other day some letters that came off the old Stone Thomas building.
Yeah.
I would never think to even sell like the storefront letters. Like the,
Right.
Yeah.
We've got a vendor who does architectural salvage. That's
like the fireplaces.
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
Beams.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got, people will bring in, I think right now there's a, it's like kind of like, it looks like a keg, but it's like, a piece of Huntington history, and it's, like pieces. So it's hard to kind of pinpoint that one thing because it's a constant flow, and you never know. Like, you come in and, it's like, oh, well, these came out of this building in Huntington, and this came,
Yeah.
and I mean, down to like, oh, these were bricks that were taken from this building, and and you're just like, holy cow.
Which is so cool.
Right. And I mean, and I personally, I'm always like that. I like a story with my piece.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to just go on Amazon and, buy a buffet. I want to go to, this was my grandmother's, this was my, this came from this building, this came from this, and the story and the hunt is part of the fun with things.
Absolutely. I love when you find a piece and you're like, you find out the family that owned it. We like to do the history on a lot of our pieces if we can, which is very hard, but if we can, we have.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a buffet in our in our dining room, and it was actually made by a friend of ours, great grandfather.
Yeah.
Because he worked in the Huntington store,
Mm-hmm.
and they had stamps that said like what the number of the person that did it, and that was the great grandfather's stamp on the inside of the drawer, and they were like, oh my gosh. I was like, that's so cool.
Right.
That's the coolest thing ever.
That's what I love about antiquing is that there's so much history, in which I'm in love with history, but
You really are.
each time that I go into your all store, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this, or look at this, and I
Right.
can put this with what I already have from before, and there's all these storylines and different people that were involved, and you all get the luck of having the local history on top of it, but then there
Right.
may be this item that comes in from God knows where that goes along with something local. It's just
Right.
really good.
Well, like
Yeah,
we had a customer in this week, and she was, and that's honestly, Mom and I love that. Like when somebody comes up and they tell us, like, my grandma had this, and she had, and I've looked for this everywhere, or and it's just that, just to bring that joy to people is
Absolutely.
amazing. And we had a woman this week, and she said, this little man sat on my grandmother's bathroom counter for the whole time I was growing up, and it was a man and a woman, and my cousin ended up getting them, and I've always wanted them. I've never seen them, and I found the man. So now I've got to find the woman, because this is going to be, this
She
is
wants a pair, yeah.
right. And so she
That
was just
nostalgia.
so tickled to have,
Yes.
and like, and then you get people like right now, uranium is like a huge.
It's
big.
It's a big thing.
Yeah.
I always love seeing people in there with the pins, like.
Yeah, with the black lights.
Yeah.
We sell the black lights, and people come buy the black lights, and then they'll like go through the store. My brother loves it too, so he'll be like, "Can we just turn the lights out and let me go through the store?" Like, do I get special
big one.
privileges? Yeah. So, but people will be like, "This piece I've never seen before," and this is, and it's like, well, when you're a collector of something for years and years, and then you find that like some piece that you've never seen, people just get so excited about it.
Yeah.
So, in that, staying on the same track a little bit, do you ever notice that certain items sell faster because of the nostalgia of the tri-state?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Blinko is
Huge.
so huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and
People
I mean
go
it's,
nuts over it.
but it's been popular now. But it's been popular for years, and that's something that right now we've got people from North Carolina, Florida that call, see stuff on our page, and say,
Yep.
Can I call and pay for this, and you ship it? And we're like, we don't ship. I'm so sorry. Like,
Yeah.
because if we shipped it, my life would be at the post
I was
office.
going to say, you would never get it.
I
Have to
mean,
be, yeah.
but people will send. I've had people who are like, I have friends in the area, so they'll call from out of state, pay for stuff, and have their friends come pick them up.
Yeah.
And we even had a lady in the other day who was from California, and she's a regular, and I never knew that she lived in California. And I was like, wait, you're in here, I see you all the time. And she's like, yeah, I drive from California because I love Fiesta, and you all have the best prices on Fiesta. And I'm like,
funny and random.
And I'm like, you can't, the prices can't be that good by the time you pay for gas in a hotel. She's like, oh no, girl, I sleep in my car. She's like, I just get in my car and I start driving and I stop at rest areas and I sleep in my car the whole way here. Drives from California to Sue's Junk.
That's
to
cool, though.
I know,
That's
but I'm
so
just like,
cool.
Man, that's a story there. Yeah, wow.
That's awesome.
I mean, and then I have to tell you this just because it's on my mind, but we had a family in, and I'm going to get it wrong. It's off the top of my head. He's a Marshall soccer player.
Okay.
And his family came in. It was from I think Argentina, I want to say. I might be wrong.
That sounds about
Sounds right.
Yeah.
In my head, it sounds right. When I leave here, I'll remember exactly where they're from. But they came in, didn't speak any English whatsoever, and he came up and he had taken them to Austin's Ice Cream and brought them in. And of course,
that.
he walks in and I'm like, I'm sorry, we have a policy here at Sue's that if you bring ice cream or iced coffee, you have to bring me one too. That's just always my thing. So, and of course he's like, what kind do you like? Next time I'll bring. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding.
That's wonderful.
And he came up and he said he played for Marshall and he found the We Are Marshall DVD that had Spanish subtitles because he could not get his family to understand really the plane crash and the whole story and everything. And he was like, we have looked for this for years because I always wanted to play for Marshall, and
he wanted to share that part with his family.
And he said,
that was the only way.
I have looked for this everywhere, and now my family can understand the history of Marshall and the history of it because they can now read the subtitles and understand it. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
That's amazing.
That right there, every decision we've made up until this point
right.
paid off. It was all for the right reason.
Right.
Like, that's beautiful.
I'm a firm believer in, God's timing with things.
Me too.
Absolutely.
And I feel like there's so many of those little, nods that are like, okay, you're where you need to be. This was meant to be. This
Absolutely.
is, so.
I agree with that.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had someone come in and recognize something they donated or threw away years ago? Probably a lot, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only imagine those stories.
Yeah. Or we've even had, I know this sounds awful, but we've even had people who, we've done estates or vendors have done estates for, and they'll come in and, have family photos of their family in there.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
And I'm
I've
like,
seen that before.
because when we always do estates, anytime we would find photos or anything personal, diplomas, yearbooks, that kind of stuff, we would always put them in the bathroom for some reason. That was always the thing we did. So home movies, that, we just left it in the house. It never felt right to take those things,
Right. Take those memories.
And a lot of times families don't want those, which is crazy to
Blows your
me.
I always thought that was crazy, not to bring them up again, because I don't know if they're even still in business, but the boys over in Proctorville, where they do everything. It was stuff like diplomas, trophies, if you name it, and it would just break my heart because I'm like, there is a family somewhere that just did not give a crap about any of this person's memories.
Right.
And this is their whole entire life.
Right.
And it's just for sale.
But the kind of, on the flip side of that, you get those old portraits and all that stuff, and people love those, and we like to call them instant cousins because you put them on your wall, and who are those? They're instant cousins. They're just.
I was going to say, my mother-in-law will get a big kick out of that because in her bathroom, she's always had these creepy photos from clubs back in the day, like when they would go into dance halls and decorate, and it'd be like this huge just auditorium full of all these members, and they're all just creepily looking at the photo because back then they did the formal photos,
right?
And she had 3 or 4 of those on her bathroom wall, and we always talked about how creepy it was to go in the bathroom and just be stared at by all these people from the Corps of Engineers or whatever random party that was being thrown. And then of course my husband, when he redoes his bathroom downstairs, it's his bathroom. he has the creepy photos in there.
Oh,
now.
nice.
Yeah,
The first time I ever went in there,
them down.
he was like, "Yeah, check these out." And I was
Oh, he's so proud of them. So proud of them.
it was the funniest thing, and there
They're
it is.
so creepy.
Just auditoriums of people staring at you. And you're like, okay, here we go with a brand new bathroom.
Instant cousins.
Instant cousins. That's
Got
what
the
they
whole
are.
family down there.
But you
They
know,
really do.
but it's so neat too. Of like, families are nuts. Everybody has a
Yeah.
story. We've all got
Yeah.
plenty. But
sure.
when you get some families, it's just like you might have somebody take over and take everything, and you've got the members who are like, I didn't get anything. I didn't
Yes.
want,
Yeah.
and they'll come in and be like, do you have the yearbook of this school between these ages? And be like, my dad's in this, my grandma's in this,
There's nothing like that feeling. That's
right,
awesome.
and they can find a connection to their family with something
Yeah.
that we have. Like, that's just amazing to me.
Right.
Yeah. What a heartfelt part, too. Let me ask, is there any, holy grail item that you all are still hunting for or you're hunting for?
Oh gosh.
And have you ever came close to finding it?
Well, you never know if you're close to finding it. You know what
Right,
I mean?
you
You
could
don't
be right
know.
there.
Well,
Yeah,
somebody
worth
might
it.
sell it. Oh my God, we found it, and then boom, you get there and they're like, sorry, it's gone.
Well, here's the thing that I don't like. Let's just be honest. I don't have time to go through that shop every day.
No way.
Right.
We've got all those vendors, and they're constantly, it is changing literally every day.
Right.
So they're coming in the back door, and they're stocking their booths.
Mhm.
I don't see what's in there. So then when customers bring up items, and I'm like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That was only $5. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
And so, I constantly have a little bit of that. I missed out on thing, and
Yeah.
I'm in the store, and
Yeah.
personally, I collect jade, and
My daughter does too. Her
Yeah.
name is Jade in
beautiful.
Italian.
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
But
She loves it.
let's just let's say I collected jade before jade was a thing. Before
Yes.
Pioneer Woman came out, and all everybody else started
I
doing
know,
it.
yeah.
I'm the OG jade collector over here.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's funny because people will say to Mom, especially, like, your house must be, you must take this stuff home. And Mom's like, I don't take anything home.
This is money.
And I think Mom loves the way her house is.
Yeah.
And so,
I get that.
and so it's kind of like there's no piece that comes in that she's just like,
Well,
I
she's
should.
done it her whole life.
Yeah.
She found those pieces years
Oh,
ago.
Yeah,
that, that make her, that bring her that joy.
Right. So, but she one of our online sales back when it was like a horrible storm, and I want to say COVID was going on. I can't remember, but she did one out of her house, and then said that they were gonna she was gonna go through after and show around the house, and
Yeah.
Buddy, we had a lot of viewers wanting to see inside.
Oh, I
Mom's
believe it.
house.
I believe it.
But that she went through and was just like, oh, here's my living room, here's this, and showed everything going on in there. But every now and then there will be some random piece that comes in, and it'll be some like a cutesy little duck or a cute little bird
Right,
or something.
right.
You're like, they just make me smile. I just want him on my porch.
Yeah, I love
But
it.
I'm over here like every day I pull it. I'm like, hey guys, I've got my car loaded. Can you go get this stuff out of my car so I can bring it in here to sell? And then by the time I leave, I'm like, hey guys, do you care to take
Load
all
my
this
stuff
stuff and
in my
load it?
car.
Because I pretty much bring it and take out all the time. I'm constantly changing out.
I love
So
that.
as far as my Holy Grail pieces, I don't know. There's like head bases. That's a thing of mine that I feel like is but as far as like with our customers, it's an everyday thing. It's this album has been the album that I've been looking for, for years,
Right.
and you've got it for $10, and you
Yeah.
know, or this is the piece I've been, so they go through that quite frequently.
Yeah.
And I feel like a broken record saying, well, it changes all the time. Come back and
But
see
it
us.
does.
But
It really does.
literally is every.
That's the best marketing too.
Yeah,
It's going to change all the time.
Right.
Keep coming back.
Right, and because
Yeah.
you don't know what's coming in there.
Right.
You literally, it's like, I joke because I'll say, Mom, I need this. I'm looking for this, and she'll say, okay, and I swear to you, I will look for it for months, and if I end up buying it, it will come in that next week.
Immediately.
Never fails.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. But if you wait long enough,
Yeah.
it'll come in.
I love that.
So this question kind of goes along with that. Have you ever had something in your shop that sparked a big I remember that from my childhood moment for you or even customers that they were like, I had to have it because, you know, like you said, the little figurine, like this was on my grandparents' table.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's like a daily thing. Yeah. I mean, it is crazy and I love when people share the stories with us. I feel like that's one of our big things is with the cashiers. I'm always like, okay, you know, Mom's always like, you have to greet the customers. You have to greet the customers. Yes. You know, when you come in,
are fantastic about that.
We try. Yeah. I feel like almost like the welcome to Moe's thing. It's like, welcome to Sue's.
I love it, though. I love it, and that's why I love.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Welcome to Moe's. Welcome to Sue's. I feel like we've kind of stolen that or something.
I love that.
And we even have Luke as one of our cashiers, and he waves. That's like his thing.
Yes.
Is he always waves to everybody. Well, my 2-year-old, when he was about 18 months or so, he kept watching Luke wave, and he would say, "Welcome to Sue's, welcome to Sue's." So my 2-year-old would just put his hand up and go, "Hi, Sue's, hi, Sue's." It was the sweetest thing.
Love that.
But I don't know. I feel like, you know, we try to always talk to everybody, and you know, and when they're bringing up stuff, I'm always like, that is so cute. What are you doing with this? What's going, you know?
Yeah.
And we get those stories.
Rapport,
It's an everyday thing of somebody saying, you know, this is the piece, this is this is, you know, or I'm getting ready to redo this, and we've been looking for these everywhere, and you know, or these are on Etsy for like $400, and we found it here for $10. You know, that kind of thing.
Now, do you ever? This is kind of random. Do you ever get those like moments in your gut where you're like, oh, like when someone comes in and says, "Oh, we're redoing it. We're painting it baby blue."
My husband would.
Yeah.
I kind of like painting furniture.
I like some of it, but some of it I'm like, oh my God, that was in such great shape. Why did you do that?
Yeah. So
like,
we go through that battle of, I was like, you know, oh, I can paint it. He's like, you don't paint.
Oh,
those.
my husband is very.
Yeah.
Do not paint furniture.
But we have a lot of. I mean, our house, as you can imagine, is very mismatched of furniture of things. And, you know, I pined over this piece. Oh, my gosh. This lady had this big hutch. And on Easter, we were dead. And I told Mom, I said, just shut the store down. And I was going to bring them Easter dinner when everything got done. And she's like, I can't. I posted that we were going to be open. And I was like, guess who owns it? Who's junk?
Right.
Sue's junk.
Yes.
Like, let's close it down. You're dead. You're costing us more money staying open than you are.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's coming in. It's a holiday. And I'm like, just post on Facebook, put it on the door, tell them we're sorry. And she's like, but you're supposed to bring us food. And I'm like, bring the cashiers that I was bringing food to, bring them to my house.
Yeah, just
and she's like, they won't come to your house. I'm like, well, why wouldn't they? So I said, put me on speakerphone. So she's like, would you all go to Parlor's if we close the store down for Easter dinner? And they were like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she loaded the car up with the cashiers, brought them to my house.
I love it.
You know, and I'm sitting there on Easter, and I'm like, okay, y'all, see this dining room? Don't you think that piece in so-and-so's booth would look so good right here? and they were all like, oh, yeah, it would totally look good there. So
you had to have it.
I had to have it, but I couldn't. I'm cheap, and I couldn't pay. She had like $500 on it, and I couldn't pay that much. And I was just like, So then when we had our anniversary sale, everybody had discounts on their booths. And we do that, you know, obviously we do anniversaries once a year, and then we do a fall fest.
Yeah.
So we do like big discounts. All the vendors are like, oh, do 20% off my booth, do 30, do 50, do 75. I mean, like,
nice.
Push some
let's
stuff,
do some products.
yeah, like they do amazing deals. So she was like, we'll do like 25% off. Well, she had already lowered it down a little bit. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. And so I was like, I'm taking that cabinet. So I bought the cabinet. The next day somebody came in and was like, oh, I'm buying that cabinet. And it sat there for months. And she's like, but I know what I'm going to do with it. I know where it's going to go. I'm like, sorry, girl, it's going to my house. So, of course, I had to repaint my dining room, make everything match for this piece. You know, so, you know, there's one of my holy girl pieces that we've had that I've pined over.
I love that.
But I feel like everybody has those, like, we're going to redo this piece and do that. And I'm like, okay. And then some people will bring in things that have been painted, and I'm like, why did you paint that?
Yeah.
Why did you?
Certain things just don't need the paint.
Yeah, certain.
Just wash it real good, soak it down, get all, you know, and then give it some life with
Yeah. But, but at the same time, we've got 2 or 3 vendors who do flip a lot of pieces and repaint and do.
And they look great.
And it looks so good. And I'm like, I would have never picked that color. I would have never done it that way. And it looks so good. I think I need a bigger house.
I was going to say, there's one booth that's like, you come in the store and you go right. It's in the back right corner. And she usually has like the cutest. She does like candles and tarts too. Like a little amount of them.
Yeah.
But she always has really cute painted pieces.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes. I'm a big fan of all. Well, I'm a fan of all the booths, really.
I get it.
I shop a lot more than Mom does.
What role do you think stores like yours play in preserving local history and culture?
I mean, I can't think of any other types of stores that really. I mean, we've got the museums and things that preserve it, but as far as selling items, we're kind of it.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, not us exclusively, but I'm just saying, like, those types of...
The way
the antique shops and the...
That's why I love them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're preserving history all the time, and let's be honest, you're getting to take a piece of history home.
Yeah.
Not only do you find this piece, but you're like, hey, like you said, Stone and Thomas or whatever, you're like, oh my God, that's my childhood. I remember
right.
I get to have this.
Grandma
that's
used to work there.
Right,
Yeah.
It ties everything in. So it's such just a cool thing that you all get to be a part of that, I think.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I still, again, broken record, it's just where it changes so much. I get so just in awe of where people get the stuff and how that, because a lot of our vendors will go to yard sales and go to estate sales and go to stuff. So all the items they're bringing in are local pieces. So they have the, and then it's like they'll bring in furniture, and as they're cleaning them, they're like, oh, that's stamped Huntington, West Virginia. Oh, that's stamped from this, cabinet shop in Ashland. That's, and so it's just a little chunk of that history that gets to be part of your everyday life. It's amazing.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So what's the strangest or funniest thing that has ever come through y'all stores?
Oh my gosh. Do people, are they included?
So we've had some conversations about some people.
People count.
We've had a few doozies. Jason's over here shaking his head. It was just.
Well, when you deal with the community for a living, like, you come across some people. You really do.
Yeah, I would say people. Like the weirdest thing that's come through?
So, for example, and this is, if you got children in the car or something, turn it down, listen to this part in a minute, like after. But so my husband at one point was cleaning, he worked over at the St. James building and was cleaning it out. He was a maintenance man, and the gentleman who owned the apartment that we're moving paid my husband, this is when we were much younger, college age, paid him and a few of his buddies to pack up this apartment and move them. So they're packing up things, and they've got a room full of things that they're getting rid of, that's going to Goodwill. My husband ends up finding adult toys.
Oh, nice.
Adult toys. And he's like, we can't show up and give these to Goodwill. Like, what do we do with them? And the couple insisted that they go to Goodwill.
Oh.
Insisted. And I was like, I think I'd find a new job.
Yeah.
Anything like crazy that people come in and.
I mean, we've had some photos that we.
I'm sure.
We've seen. Oh gosh, crazy things. Something that comes to mind is we found photos from Huntington's. They were like the original mug shots. And
cool.
They were, a lot of them were from children that were arrested. And then on the backs of them, it was all handwritten on what their crimes were, what their sentences were.
So neat.
And it was nuts to see.
Bunch of hooligans.
Yeah.
But it would be crazy, and it would just be like, this man was arrested on suspicion.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, that's
that.
That's a really cool find.
But those have been one, and we obviously didn't sell those. We've kept those as one of the
awesome.
We'll show you something cool kind of
We're
things.
going to be friends because I need to see these.
Come on in, we'll show them to you. But that's one of those weird. And I think it's because of some of the crimes that were committed, and then the sentences that went with them were insane.
I could only imagine.
Yeah, and just like today, it would never fly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or
like this kid, he's up for theft, and he's 13, but it's his 5th offense or something,
Right.
or it's like, you know what I mean?
Something crazy,
like,
yeah.
That was definitely like an odd thing. We try to keep it very family friendly in there. We have, rules about profanity and anything that odd being sold. So nothing too crazy.
Okay.
But that's a little odd piece of history we have found.
I think that's a really cool one.
That is good.
Really cool one.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what's next for Sue's Junk? Obviously we've talked a little bit about some expansion, special events, projects in the works, anything like that.
Did my mom pay you to ask that question?
No, but I do like your mom, so this is working out good. You're welcome, Sue.
She's constant, like, what are we doing now? What
That's
are we
right.
doing now? I'm just like, girlfriend.
That's the life of a hustler.
It is.
Yeah.
We conquered that. Let's go to the next thing now. We got to keep
What's
going.
next?
Yeah, but guess who has to plan and do all these projects?
She's the mental grind, and you're like, okay, now I got to do this.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm over here like, oh, okay. Sure, I'll
that's
take
funny.
care of all of the things.
Yeah.
I'll make the upstairs happen, Mom. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. She wants to expand upstairs. I do not.
I've never seen the upstairs.
You're probably not ever going to if I have my way about it.
Just dream about it. It's probably not going to happen.
Well, we looked at it for a friend of mine and myself when it was setting there before it got messed up the way that it did. We had these big dreams of it being a community center for Westmoreland.
Oh, yeah.
We really didn't have one. We don't have one for younger kids. We had like the teen center, but we didn't have like an actual community center. And we were like, oh yeah, the offices could be upstairs, downstairs could be like the basketball courts and all, because it's got the high ceilings.
Yeah.
And we just had these big dreams. So like I've always in my head like, what does the top look like? Like,
Yeah. Will you come in? I'll give you a private tour of the top. Sorry, we burst your bubble on the community center. And I will.
Okay.
I will
okay.
tell
It
you
was never
this.
going to work out.
I'll tell you this funny story was, when we were in there working, there were obviously a lot of rumors, like what's going in there,
Yes.
So of course we go over to Camden for lunch, like we did every day, because if you know, you know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So I'm standing in line, and these 2 women are in front of me talking, and this lady's like, I hear there's going to be a junk store coming in at the old, and the other lady goes, well, I'm really excited about it. And the lady said, no. She's like, we need a grocery store in Westmoreland.
Oh,
we need, and I'm just over here.
But we know a grocery store doesn't work there. We know that.
Right. Like,
it tried and failed several
times. Like, it needs something that would work.
Yes.
And so, of course, I kept my mouth shut, but it was just hilarious listening to the gossip about, what's going on, what's going to happen. And that lady was just like, oh, it's going to be so awful. It's going to be,
absolutely. So this is a random question for you, Jason. At the time, you were probably like thinking about or getting ready to run.
Yeah.
You probably knew prior that you were getting ready to make the decision. What kind of crazy rumors did you hear about the location? Because I heard at one point that it was going to be a gentleman's club.
Oh, nice. Maybe that could be what the upstairs is. Hey. No.
I mean,
the dual project, I'm just saying.
The rumor mill went crazy. Like, it really did.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors.
Oh my
Now,
gosh.
I did hear that Costco actually was interested well before you all at one point. And that the city basically was like, I don't think it's a good fit,
It's
blah,
not.
blah, blah.
It would never would've worked.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
it just,
There's
and
not
it
enough
needed so
parking or
much work,
anything
as you
there.
all know.
Yeah.
I mean, but the rumors were unbelievable.
They really were. And people were big mad, like you said, about a junk store, with
Yeah.
air quotes. But you either have people that love junking, or you have people that just have no desire and they're just like, oh, that's total, you're trash. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
like why do you want other people's things?
I had a lady that came in this week, and she said, it was hilarious. She walked up and she said, I just want to let you know, this is my first time in here, and I will be back. My boyfriend lives down the street from here, and he said that his ex-girlfriend didn't care for this place, but she likes primitives, and I obviously knew she didn't have any taste, so why did I listen to them? And she was like, oh
Wow.
my gosh. She said, I will be back. I love this place.
Fantastic. Yes.
So I was like, saying it so. Okay.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. I love when people show their authentic selves in that way, when like they're perfect strangers, because you're like, you know what, you just walked upon me and trusted me to be you,
Uh-huh.
and not try to sugarcoat it. I love that.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Well, and and that's what everybody will come up and say, hey, when's Seuss 2.0 coming? And I'm just like, shut your mouth. We're not doing that.
My mom ideas.
No.
You guys can move down to those little storefronts by the cell phone store. You can have some little individual
Camden Corner will
shops.
be right across the street. It's perfect.
There you go, Sue.
I'm giving her a face right now.
Yeah,
It's
she's
not.
giving me the
I'm
major
still a fan of
face.
the upstairs. I'm just saying. That's
That is a cool idea.
No.
Now let me ask you.
Like,
There's
I
a
don't
basement
have-
there too, correct?
No.
Oh man, if only.
If only. No.
They
no.
could have that too. Another expansion.
No.
Fruth, I know has one. I was hoping you all did.
Yeah.
Oh, Fruit has a basement?
Oh yeah.
It's about the size of the whole store.
It's big.
Really
It's a
large.
huge place.
Yeah, it's a very big location. I've been all over that one too. So, I guess we've been talking for. You don't even want to know how long about 55 minutes.
There you
Okay.
go. You're
Sorry.
on it. No, this is great.
No, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. But we try to keep it under an hour if we can, so that people can get their episodes in. So with that, where can folks find you online, in person? What should they expect when they walk through the door?
Oh boy. So we're at 459 Camden Road. We're in the old Shoppers
Or
Value,
Shoppers Value.
beside the old Fruth. We're open 7 days a week. 8 to 6 every day except for Mondays and Tuesdays. Those are our short days. That's 12 to 5. We do that because we have the online sales on Monday, and that's on Facebook. It's 6 o'clock every Monday, and it's super fun, super fast. It's about an hour
I was
long.
gonna say, she does not mess around. She's done. Boom,
No,
boom, boom, boom.
no, yeah.
Time's money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and it's super fun. It's like she holds up an item. She says, "Hey, this is item number 2.
Yep.
It's a Stanley Cup for this much." You know what I mean?
Right,
Like whatever
right.
it is. And there's no bidding, so it goes super fast. You just type in, like, if you want number 2, you put 2, and then it goes by whoever comes through first on our
comes
side.
through. Yep.
So, and then I'll put you down as the winner, and then at the end of it, she draws a number out. And we do several drawings at the end. So if she picks out 49 and you were the winner on 49, then you win like a $50 gift card to the store or a t-shirt
That's good
or so
Yeah, that's
people
fun.
people live for the sale.
I'm sure,
and
yeah.
it's so awesome because every Monday it's, hey, watching from North Carolina, hey, watching from Florida, hey, watching from
cool.
England,
Right.
hey, watching from
That's amazing.
literally it's all over. When people travel, they'll be like, it's my Sue time. And people will get mad,
my
like,
Sue time.
you
I
know,
love
like,
that.
oh, my
You
granddaughter
guys
wanted
need t-shirts.
We do have t-shirt.
No,
It's
it's
Seuss
Seuss
time.
time.
It's Seuss time. 6 o'clock Seuss
There
time.
you go.
But, every Monday at 6, it'll be like, my granddaughter wanted to come over, and I'm like, no, it's just time for Sue. I can't keep the
love
grandkids.
that. I love it.
It's their hour. So, but we do that on Mondays at 6. When you come in the store, we also, like you said, we do the outside sales Wednesday through Sunday. So that's always differing, but always Wednesday and Saturdays are the hot days, especially if the weather is permitting. If it's raining, not as much. But if the weather's good, those are the days to come.
Absolutely.
And it gets filled quick. So if you're there trying to get like the it thing, and you want to be there before them or before everybody else, you need to get there early.
Oh yeah, and it's just always so different what people have from one day
Right.
to the next. And I'm a big fan of, I don't know if you know this, but used things. And so like when my kids are going to a next size of clothes or something, I'll go out there and they'll have like fill a bag for $5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this.
Yes.
So that's always changing. But when you walk in, what should you expect? You should expect to stay there a while.
Yes.
Yes.
I think a lot of people come in and they'll say, I've been in here for 2 hours and I haven't made it through half the store yet. I'm going to have to come back tomorrow and go to the other side. I'm like, well, by the time you come back the next day, it'll all be different
You
again.
have to start all over again.
So, just be prepared to wear your comfy shoes.
Yes.
Be prepared to find some things that you never expected you were going to find. Be prepared to just have some retail therapy if you need it.
Absolutely.
We have our Thank You Jesus. We have our Air Fix this year. That was the big struggle
Yes.
the first year.
Doors open and fans was a different
Oh,
world.
Yeah.
those swamp coolers and but y'all stuck with us.
That's
I mean,
right.
but like I said, we didn't have the money,
Right.
we had to get open, we had to start until we
Yeah.
could get going, and this has been a labor of love, and we didn't just we weren't that conglomeration just to come in and just say
We're so thankful that you guys took a risk on our community because you had lots of options. So we're so thankful that you
Yeah,
guys
we're so glad to have you all.
moved into
Well,
Westmoreland.
thanks. I think it's a great location. I mean, where it's
Absolutely.
on 64.
It just needed somebody in it. Like that was the problem. Everyone was so upset that it was sitting empty, and there was loiterers doors and people breaking in and all that. And I get that, but it just needed a presence.
Well, and most of our vendors are...
everything had shut down around it, too.
Right.
So there was just no presence.
Most of our vendors are, like, local Westmoreland community members.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like... And they always get really defensive, too. Like, and they'll tell us, like, if somebody says something, they're like, that is my store, and this is part of my business, and this is, you know... I mean, they're so prideful, and which we love that, you know, we have amazing, amazing vendors. I mean, like, there is not one person in there. Yeah. I mean, and our thing is kind of like, you know, we let you rent a shelf, see how you do, and we kind of vet you and make sure you're going to be a good fit for the store, because we're just all about, like...
That's smart, because they... At another place, they don't do that. And I was a vendor there for a while, and they do not treat their vendors very well. And it was just an overall bad experience. I was on the wait list for you guys when I decided, my mom had passed away, and I suddenly had all these things that I'm like, what do I do with them, you know?
Right.
So I needed a booth or something like that to do it, because there was no way I was doing Facebook sales and, you know, all that. Meeting people at sheets and all the things. So that's wonderful. I think it's great that you guys do that. Yeah. Because even the person that's doing it may not know whether it's a good fit for them. Because I didn't know what it was going to be like.
Absolutely.
I didn't know if I was going to love it or hate it.
You know, and we get people that, you know, they'll bring their things in and they're priced like so high, and we're just like, this is not going to be a fit for you. Like, we don't want the stuff. We have a rule that if you don't make your rent for 2 consecutive months, you have to go. And we have, you know, we have a huge waiting list to get in there. And our thing is like, we want to pay you. We don't want you paying us.
Sure.
We want you making money.
To make money.
Right. So if you're not making the money, there's a problem. Like, we need to go down to a smaller space, or we need to get the prices adjusted, or we work with you.
That's a beautiful thing, because like I said, in the other place, it's like you get 3 sizes you choose from. You take it or you leave it, and there is no conversation of maybe you need the smaller space. Maybe you can switch with so and so, or you know. Yeah. There's not that family feel. It's very corporate. So.
Yeah. No, I feel like we need to give people a chance, you know.
Sure.
And but sometimes, you know, people have personal things going on in their lives, and we understand, you know. Yeah. You know, if you know, this is going on, let's go down smaller for a little bit, then we can try to move you back up when everything gets settled. Let's try to, you know, we try to work with everybody, but we have such an amazing group in there, and it's just the community of vendors and like the community of customers. It's just amazing. It's just it's been an awesome place to have, and the community has just been such a blessing for us. Just to
good. I'm happy.
Yeah,
to hear that.
we're happy. We're glad you're happy. Everything's
good.
Well, we appreciate you very much. Thank you for coming on the show today. Always stop by anytime. Obviously, you and I talk all the time. If there's anything you need out of me, let me know. And Vanessa's right there in Westmoreland too.
Absolutely.
So thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. All right, guys, we are out of here.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Tri-State Time Machine, brought to you by Alex R. White, PLLC, at SueDistractedDriver.com. If you have a memory you want Vanessa to talk more about, just send her an email at tstm@mail.com or post a comment on the Tri-State Time Machine Facebook page. Did you like the episode? Be sure to share it with friends and family. It's the only way we can continue this fun work that we do. You can find a link in the show notes that you can use to share it. And be sure to let our sponsors know you like the podcast as well. Their contact information can be found in this episode's show notes.